Hi, and welcome to Nurturing Compassion. I'm Nicole, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how we can still be our most compassionate self despite the fact that there are costs and externalities associated with everything that we do. If this is something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Came to Salisbury University to work on my environmental studies degree, I remember that the first class that I went to, the professor basically got up there and said there's no such thing as a free lunch. And what he meant by that was that every single thing that we do has some kind of impact, in this case on the environment. We can create an entire green infrastructure with solar panels, green buildings, rooftop gardens, and we will still be having an impact on the environment. It's just the fact of the matter. But the goal is for us to try to minimize that harm and that damage as much as possible. For example, when it comes to putting up solar panels, there are pollution costs associated with creating them, with transporting them, but we can minimize the amount of damage thereafter by putting them on top of existing structures rather than taking a field and turning it into a solar panel farm. You see, because by putting those solar panels on top of an existing building, we're not taking up more land, and therefore those solar panels become better for the environment because the cost of that land being taken is not factored into it. Now, I think that the same rationale applies to compassionate living. There is nothing that we can do that will make us entirely perfect, no impact on anybody or anything, just because that is our society. Just to live, just to survive, you need to take water from the environment. You need to take plants from the environment. However, we can change our habits in a way that can minimize that damage as much as possible. So I talk about this not only to make it clear that my channel is not about reaching these unattainable expectations of being perfect, of being completely selfless, but rather it is about making you the happiest person that you could be and the most aligned with your true purpose. And so my goal is to give you advice on how you can tread lighter on this planet, be kinder to our animal friends, be kinder to other people on this planet, and also how to take care of yourself. There's so many different trade-offs. There's trade-offs when you think about, should I buy fair trade clothes or should I go to a thrift shop where the stuff was created using non-organic cotton? There's different trade-offs, but you're not taking new resources from the planet by shopping at a thrift store. So depending on what your values are and where they lie, you will arrive at different conclusions for that question. And that is okay. I am aware that people may not have the same opinions as me when I talk about compassionate living. I'm aware that compassionate living sounds like it is this perfect life, but that's kind of why I chose it. I'm not trying to create a perfect image of myself. I'm trying to show people that just because living a compassionate life will never be truly perfect doesn't mean that it's not worth pursuing. I am not perfect. Sometimes I don't research things enough before I buy them. Sometimes I make mistakes and I may eat something that ends up not being vegan. That's okay. My idea of compassionate living can be different than yours, and I think that we both can still get a lot of value from each other. So when you're approaching your journey, do not worry about the fact that maybe you aren't vegan yet, or you aren't meditating every day, or you're not necessarily on a good exercise regimen. Because if they are things that you think fit into your life and make sense to you, you can introduce them and you can build them into your routine. The fact that there are other externalities associated with those things can kind of be overwhelming because it makes you feel like no matter what I do, I'm still causing harm, I'm still causing damage, so I might as well still stay with business as usual. And when you take that belief and you take it apart, we see how silly it is, right? Of course we should be doing what we think is the best that we can. Of course we should be doing what aligns with our values, even if there are still factors that aren't perfect in that transition. So this video is just to remind you that every single one of us can have a positive impact on the environment, even if it isn't perfect. I just want to keep this video short and sweet today, and just as a reminder as to what I mean by compassionate living. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, pass it along to some friends, give this video a like, and if you want more content like this, please consider hitting the red subscribe button. Question of the day: what are you conflicted about in your journey to compassionate living? Let me know in a comment down below, and perhaps we can work together to try to sort through some of these challenging decisions that we're trying to make sense out of. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day. Bye!